Hi, third graders. It's Mrs. Moore here, and I'm very excited because today I get to teach you the first geometry lesson of the year. We're going to be learning about geometry together for the next couple weeks. So by the end of today's lesson, you will all be able to identify polygons. Why don't you read our second learning target with me? I will describe the attributes of polygons. And you know that attributes are the features or characteristic of these polygons. So I happen to know, third graders, that you already know quite a bit about geometry from first grade and second grade. So let's take a minute to discuss all of the wonderful information you already know about these shapes on my screen. To make sure that you're able to participate with me, would you either get out a notebook, a blank piece of paper, or your math packet so that you're able to follow along with me? Wonderful. So the first thing I'd like you to do is, in your notebook or paper or packet, write down the names of these shapes and any attributes or features that you remember about these shapes from last year. Pause the video and write down the name of these three shapes. Draw a little picture of them next to their name and write down any attributes that you remember. What were you able to write down? I hope some of you remembered that this shape is called a triangle. Yes. What is this shape called? You're right, this is a square. What about this one? You're right, this one is called a rectangle. Wonderful. Did you remember any attributes or features or characteristics of these shapes? Did you remember that a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles? And we're about to learn a lot more about that vocabulary. And a square has 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. Oh, we get to learn all about different types of angles over the next couple of weeks. And a rectangle is a shape with 4 sides and 4 right angles. I'm so proud of all that you remembered. Would you please very carefully look at these shapes on the screen and the ones that you've drawn? And would you please think of any way that these 3 shapes are the same? What did you come up with? Were you able to figure out that these shapes are the same because they're all closed shapes with 3 or more angles and sides? Well, that's pretty cool because today we're going to be learning about any closed shape with 3 or more angles. And boys and girls, any shape with 3 or more angles is called a polygon. Say that with me, please. Polygon. And a polygon, boys and girls, is any shape with 3 or more angles that's closed. So a polygon is a closed shape with 3 or more angles. Okay, today we get to learn about many different types of polygons. Before we get started, I just want to introduce you to some very important vocabulary. Some of this might even be words that you already are familiar with. Okay, so a polygon is any closed shape with 3 or more angles. So let's talk about what a side is in a shape. So I've drawn this rectangle for you. Would you also draw one, either in your packet or on a piece of paper? So a side is any line segment used to form a polygon. You notice that this shape has 4 sides. Since a side is any line segment, well, let's look at what a line segment is. A line segment is a section of a line that's bound by 2 endpoints. All that means is it's a line that has 2 endpoints. a point where it started and ended. So this right here, boys and girls, is a side. The reason it's a side is because it's a line segment and it has a starting point and an ending point. It has 2 points. Awesome. So I know that this rectangle has 4 sides because it has 4 line segments that have 2 endpoints. Here's one side, here's another side, and another side, and the last side. Pause the video, and on your picture, label each side on your rectangle. Wonderful. So you were able to say that there were 4 sides because a side is just any line segment with 2 endpoints. I like to remember a side on a shape by anywhere where the direction changes is another side. Look, here's the endpoint and another side starts. Here's the endpoint, it changes direction and another side starts. So a side is just any line segment with 2 endpoints. Next one is an angle. An angle forms where the 2 sides meet, where 2 endpoints come together. I like to remember angle as the corner. So you'll notice on the shape, there are 4 places where the 2 sides come together, where the 2 endpoints come together. So here's one angle because you notice right here is where the 2 side lengths come together. Here's another angle right here, and our last angle. Wonderful. On your picture of your rectangle, would you label all the angles? Thank you so much. Okay, so I know that these are the angles because it's where 2 lines come together. Those are called angles. And the line segments are called the side. Wonderful. Okay, are you guys ready for some new learning? So, today is all about polygons. A polygon is any closed shape with 3 or more angles. Today we're going to learn about the different types of polygons. Awesome. These 2 you already know. A triangle is a polygon because it's a closed shape with 3 or more angles. And a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. Pause the video, please, and point to the sides and the angles on these triangles. You're right. This triangle has 3 sides. Here are my line segments, 1, 2, 3, and this one does 2. So I know it's a triangle because tri means 3. So it's just a polygon with 3 sides and 3 angles. Wonderful. Next, another type of polygon is called a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is just a polygon, so again, that closed shapes with 3 or more angles, but it has 4 sides and 4 angles or 4 corners where the 2 sides meet. On your notebook, would you draw a few examples of quadrilaterals and label them? Quadrilateral. Wonderful. So I know even this shape is a quadrilateral because a quadrilateral is just any shape with 4 sides and 4 angles. Pause the video one more time and tell me, what is the difference between triangles and quadrilaterals? Were you able to say that they're different because a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles and a quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles? Wonderful. And they're the same because you'll notice they're just both polygons, because a polygon is just any closed shape with 3 or more angles. So a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. A quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. Make sure that you have both of those written down and labeled in your notes, because we're about to learn about even more shapes. Okay, here are the other polygons we're going to be learning about. Again, we know a polygon is a closed shape with 3 or more angles. So we're going to learn about pentagons. A pentagon is also a polygon, because to be a polygon, a shape just needs to have 3 or more angles and it needs to be closed. But a pentagon has 5 sides and 5 angles. Pause the video and tell me, how are pentagons, triangles, and quadrilaterals different? Did you remember that triangles have 3 sides and 3 angles, quadrilaterals have 4 sides and 4 angles, and pentagons have 5 sides and 5 angles? Wonderful job! On your paper, please draw one pentagon and write pentagon next to it. Next, we're going to learn about a hexagon. A hexagon is any closed shape with 6 sides and 6 angles. Last, we're going to learn about octagons. An octagon is also a polygon. Why is an octagon also a polygon? You're right, because it's a closed shape and it has more than 3 angles. An octagon has 8 sides and 8 angles. Great work, third graders. On your notebook or packet or paper, would you please make sure you have pentagon, hexagon, and octagon written down and have some of their characteristics written next to you? Okay, I want to see what you guys can do by yourselves. So would you please pause the video and answer the questions on this page? I want to see if you're able to determine how many sides this shape has and angles. And based on that information in your notes, what is the name of the shape? Who was able to do that? So boys and girls, let's figure out how many sides this shape has. Remember, a side is just that line segment with 2 endpoints. So let's count the sides, and I'm going to show you a way that really helps me count sides. So what Mrs. Moore always does is I put a dot on that first side because it shows me where did I start counting so that I don't forget. So it has 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides, 5 sides. Wonderful. Were you also able to determine that this shape has 5 sides? Great. Now let's determine how many angles it has. Remember, the angle is where those 2 sides meet, where the 2 endpoints come together. So it has 1, and again, I like to put a dot there or a line to show where I started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wonderful. Give me a thumbs up if you were able to determine that this shape also had 5 angles. And who remembers? What is the name of the shape with 5 sides and 5 angles? Say it out loud with me. It's a pentagon. Make sure you have this right next to you because we're going to sort a few shapes together, and then you get to do an assignment on your own. So have this right next to you, either from your packet or pulled up handy on your screen. Okay, we're going to practice sorting our polygons by the number of sides and angles that they have. And we're going to put them in the 3 categories: triangles, quadrilaterals, and pentagons. We're going to do 2 together, and then I'm confident letting you guys do a couple on your own. So, okay, let's start with this shape right here. So I know this shape has 1, 2, 3 sides because a side is a line segment with 2 endpoints. And it changes direction right here and right here. So I know there's 3 sides. Now let's count the angles. Okay, here's one corner where the two sides come together. Here's another and a third. So this shape has 3 sides and 3 angles. What's the name of a shape with 3 sides and 3 angles, boys and girls? You're right. It's a triangle. Let's look at this shape right here. Okay, let's count the number of sides. So I always put my dot on the first side so I remember where I started. 1 line segment, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Let's count the number of angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, an angle is any place where 2 sides come together. What's the name of a shape with 5 sides and 5 angles? Correct, it's a pentagon. Okay, let's do this one together. And then I'm gonna let you do some by yourself. Okay, I always put my dot. Ooh, there's already one for me, so I'm gonna just remember I started right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. So boys and girls, what's the name of this shape? You're right, it's a quadrilateral. Pause the video and sort the remaining shapes into the column that they go in. You're right, this is a triangle, 3 sides and 3 angles. This is a quadrilateral, 4 sides and 4 angles. Another quadrilateral, 4 sides and 4 angles. And a pentagon, 5 sides and 5 angles. Excellent work, third graders. Okay, for this one, I'm only going to do 2 with you, and you're going to do 2 by yourself. Ooh, I have to put my dot so I remember where I started. Let's count the number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the number of angles. I'm going to put my dot on the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the name? And use your resource if you need to. What is the name of a shape with 6 sides and 6 angles? Say it out loud. You're right, it's a hexagon. Okay, let's do one more together. Mrs. Moore wants to do this one. Okay, let's find the number of sides and number of angles. I know a hexagon has 6 sides and 6 angles. What does an octagon have? You're right, 8 sides and 8 angles. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles. So this shape is an octagon. Pause the video and tell me how octagons and hexagons are different. You are right. A hexagon has 6 sides. An octagon has 8 sides and 8 angles. Do the last 2 by yourself. Were you able to determine that this shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides and 6 angles, so it's a hexagon? This shape is an octagon because it has 8 sides and 8 angles. This is your assignment for today, boys and girls. Please watch this video as many times as you need to feel very comfortable. The first question has been completed for you. So boys and girls, make sure you have your Polygon vocabulary sheet right next to you so that you're able to count the sides and angles of each shape so that you're able to say the name of the shape and the attributes of the shape. So this shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. And so I looked at my sheet and I knew right away that it was called a pentagon. So I know it's a polygon because a polygon is any closed shape with 3 or more angles, and it had 5 sides and 5 angles. I cannot wait to see your work today, and I'll be back tomorrow teaching you a little bit about quadrilaterals and some new vocabulary. Thank you so much, boys and girls. I can't wait to see your assignment.